and welcome. This is Ayana Lahi, and I'm so very happy that you are here with all of us today. In this week's episode of Be1, Be You, we are diving into the theme, the purpose of your emotional wound in sex revealed. Your emotional wound, what is it? We all have them. Our emotional body is constantly in response to the stimuli around us of judgment, projection, feeling like we haven't fulfilled what we can fulfill. We have let down. We feel unseen, unheard. And the emotional wound is also created through what we want to give that wasn't really taken in, and we didn't have perhaps the tools to know how to bring it into the world even better with greater results. Our emotional wound is oftentimes created from loving, but having our love rejected, having the love that we are abandoned, betrayed, rejected, and it hurts. Our emotional wound can be created from feeling like, wow, I really worked hard to understand a particular concept, or when you're a student in school, if you are a student, and your perception, your input, your analysis is not even understood. And it turns into a self-judgment. It turns into a radical way to turn against oneself, self-doubt, to wonder if we really are who we think we are or we want to be. To have the clarity and the insight to continue on, to move forward, no matter what others are thinking of us, is really difficult. And a lot of inspiration can be gained by observing people who have a lot of positive to give, and they threaten other people because they might stand for real love, real freedom, true caring, and understanding the way that money, love, innovation, progression, fear work together. And in all of the Spirit Gateways Institute work, we are always working to give you the tools to understand where your emotional wound comes from, and then how to find the authentic you beneath the emotional wound. And it is way too easy to stay caught up in the emotional wound and have it affect us in deep ways for years. And what I found was the only way to move through that emotional wound is through bringing in that higher frequency, the higher vibrational awareness that I call spirit. It is the ultra extraordinary teacher that is the very essence, the very consciousness, the wholeness of where all life comes from. It's from the source itself. So that is something to start this podcast off with, to have you rolling into this arena of emotional wound and sexuality. We're not taught a lot about sexuality, really about sex, except what we want it to be and how we hope we are loved through sex. And a lot of times we get it backwards. When we claim, when we own, when we value our emotional wound and we bring it into our own awareness so that we can individually work with it, what happens is that we have stronger boundaries of the timing of bringing our whole self into sex. Instead of going into the sex act just for the sex, we're also honoring, recognizing that sexual energy is a really powerful force of life. It is life moving, earth moving, mind expanding, spiritually opening, and emotionally triggering and emotional healing. Emotionally healing you because the combination of the life force energy being awakened through your body and the love in your heart wanting to open, wanting to be fed and nurtured. And for those of you who've experienced heart and genital sex, opening into that spiritual current, it is an incredibly powerfully awakening and fulfilling experience. When we bring our emotional wound into sex and we don't know about our own emotional wound, or we have bypassed it, ignored it, pushed it away, denied it, what happens is that it's going to come up anyway, because the action of building the orgasmic energy itself, what that does is it moves the energies, everything that's in your root center, your stability and survival center, which is in between your pubic bone and your tailbone. And so here you are igniting that fiery energy. And that fire is action. It can be repressed anger. It can be passion. It can be lust. It can be so much life energy. And when you do not know how to channel it, it can create a lot of havoc in your life. And it can create a lot of despair in your partner, because you may be going one direction emotionally, energetically, and psychologically, and your partner will be going in another direction. So, for instance, if you or your partner were sexually abused at any time in your life or as a child, sex for you is going to bypass the central core channel of energy in your body, and it's going to do a stimulation of your energy field, a stimulation of the meridians to bring you up and out of your body, probably too quickly. There might be a tendency to climax too soon. It's hard to contain and hold the intimacy. And you have to move inside yourself pretty deeply in order to feel all of the arousal, because there are enough numbing channels that have happened where the channels themselves were numbed out. So your experience or your partner's experience will be very different. The emotional wounds connected to the abuse will either be pushed down or opened. Usually the emotional wound is opened, and what happens, it could even happen 24 hours after you have sex, that you are overreactive or your partner's overreactive. Anger comes up. It could be even at small things. When you begin the journey, the awakening, into the core life force energies within inside of yourself, what happens is that you begin to experience an equilibrium and a stabilization, because the overreactivity, the fear that can come up in sex, the need to control, the anger that can come up, if not in that moment, it could come up over time. And then one begins to feel that the act of sex is bringing up things that are erupting the relationship, but it's really erupting who you are as a person individually. So what is the purpose for finding your emotional wound and then healing your emotional wound? Well, it's in order to be able to experience a direct connection to the source of love within yourself. This source of love, what it really does is it puts you in alignment with the greater source than being in alignment with the inner pain, the inner fear, the inner control, which you see in a lot of power plays happening in our world at this time. You are put instead into alignment with a love that is everlasting. It is the infinite. It's the eternal love. It's where all great ideas come from. It progresses families and relationship industries. It is the heart center of ideas. It is the internal core seed of progressive thinking that brings forth new inventions and innovations, educational tools and techniques, and the list goes on and on. And so if you are someone who wants to and who's presently working to understand, to master a particular field of endeavor, perhaps you are at a stage where you are bringing forth something new, whether it is a writing, whether it is an artistic project, a scientific innovation, a technology innovation, a teaching technique, a perspective that could help shift our social system. Whatever it is that percolates inside of you, know that by moving through the emotional wound within inside of yourself and mending the gap that is inside of you requires only one thing. That's courage. It's the strength. It's the choosing the courage to be really real with yourself, and then knowing that you don't have to do all of this yourself. You're actually opening to learn a reunion and union with the source within you that is divine intelligence, that you have that direct connect. And in all of the spirit gateways, courses, and programs that you find in the Evolutionary Empowerment Global Village membership program that you can read about on my website, what you experience is your mind and body unifying in the source within you. And if you want to pursue the golden nuggets of sexuality, it's in the Passport to Freedom signature course. And that's also part of the membership program, along with a lot of other courses in the video library. And in Module 1, you see God sex. And that is the beginning teaching in the Passport to Freedom. And you learn how to tap into the core source of energy within you. Here's a hint for you, a tool, a takeaway. When you are engaged in lovemaking, in sex, bring to the moment, connecting into blue light. Light moves up from the core of the earth. There's white light in the core of the earth. And there's also white light that moves in from the universe through the crown center of your head. They both are moving and interacting in your body, through your spine, through the portals of energies, the openings of light inside of your body. When you are aroused in lovemaking, when you breathe into the light coming up from the earth, you can bring it up from the earth as white light or blue light. Light is always, always in our body. Our mind has separated from that light connection. And in all of the Spirit Gateways courses and offerings, I'm always teaching about coming back into that light. The light is what shifts your psychology. It's what mends the emotional wounds. So here you are in lovemaking. You feel the building of the energies. Slow them down. Focus into blue light as you raise them in a column in front of your spine, touching into each of the PowerPoint centers. And you can go into depth of the PowerPoint centers in the Evolutionary Empowerment course. It's also part of the Spirit Gateways library in the membership site, and the foundation course teaches about it. And you'll hear me always talking about the energy centers and how to work with them in relationship to your mind, your emotions, your body, your soul progression, and working in the universe, which then connects you into money, currency, and here in sexuality, as you practice bringing your focus in the blue light, moving it slowly from the root, the lower belly, the creation point. These are all up inside your body, inside in front of your spine, not in the back of your spine. So like imagine your navel. It's inside the body, not in the surface of the navel. So again, slowly bringing up the blue light from the root center, lower belly, the creation point, the navel, the solar plexus. This is a really powerful point. It is the center of the sun inside of you, and it is the emotional center. It's where the fears about if we're good enough, if we're smart enough, if we're loved enough, if we can love enough, all those thoughts, those considerations, those perspectives that we go into, they get lodged in the solar plexus. So when you move the blue light through the solar plexus, it begins to open your emotional center, and then it deepens the power of an orgasm. So then you bring that blue light up through the heart center, and as your heart center reunites with the root, you start being able to open those inner energetic channels for greater sexual climax. Then you very slowly from the heart move the blue light through your throat center, inside your head, the back of your skull, and into your third eye. In your forehead, about 1.5 inches in between your eyebrows, about 1/2 inch up or 1 inch. That's approximate. And then through the third eye to the crown, and the peak orgasm happens as your heart opens and the energies move through your crown. Imagine now this geyser of energy up through your head and opens up to both sides of your body, circling back down around to the soles of your feet. This is the cosmic current, and it is an atomic energy. And the more you bring your emotional healing, emotional awareness, and create that relationship with your partner where you bridge having sex together with becoming best friends and holding space for each other, meaning holding a space of tenderness and communication and opening the doorway so that old emotional wounds can heal. A whole different purpose, a whole new understanding of what emotional wounds can actually bring into a relationship when they are honored as a gift from the soul, and as your souls trust each other and share in the adventure of energy moving together, emotional growth together, there is a spiritual alignment that happens. And the purpose of relationship is to reach our highest potential, become who we really truly can be beyond what we might even think in this moment, and to understand love and that sex, the energy of sex itself, whether you're having the sexual act happening or you're transforming the energies into creativity, service to the world, love for your kids, love for your partner. Love can be expressed in its highest form without sex and with sex. It's not meant to be an abusive act. It's meant to be an act of pure love. And I'd love to invite you to check out my website, Ayana Lahi, IANALAHI.com. And I welcome you into the center of your universe where all of your energies unite into meeting the one within you. Sending you much love. Until next time, this is Ayana Lahi.